Greetings and welcome to the Basketball Rules Expert. We are live from the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. Appreciate everybody jumping onto the stream today. I had some technical issues. The stream started. It didn't seem to be showing. I don't know. I don't do any of that stuff. It's all up to my elite tech team, Gus and Oliver, Go Time Productions, keeping everything here at A Better Official on time, accurate, color-corrected, audio levels balanced. The elite tech team here at A Better Official making it happen so that we have a live stream that's worth watching. Of course, in the end, that will be in the judgment for our elite viewers. Jason Hayes is in the house. We will be going over basketball rules questions today from the NFHS Test 1. If anybody could help me out and tell me, I think somebody said Test 1 is given to new officials, and then Test 2 is maybe for sort of the real test or something like that. Do let me know. Chris Lake is in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you, Chris. It's been a while. Ray Allen from the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. I'm going to take, we got to do some sizing here. Let's do that. Let's try it again. Yeah, that's better. That's better. The coffee is excellent this morning. Excellent this morning, Jason, and good thing it is. John, I'm going with Bonnell. You let me know, John, if it's Bonnell. I'm going with Bonnell for now. From Newfoundland. Let's make that like that. It's always good to talk about the rules, and if you're a FIBA official, of course, it's like, wow, that must be an NFHS thing or a collegiate thing, because I know for FIBA it is this thing. I do not know FIBA rules. I, of course, know there are differences, and we have to be aware of those. Jack Nelson says, take both Part 1 and Part 2. Okay. I guess it's handled in different ways in different parts of the country. Good morning, Richard Smith. Let us know where you officiate from. I don't think I've seen you on the live stream before. Where are our usual culprits? Excellent, Chris. It's back. The season is upon us. It is. I have my first high school scrimmage on Saturday morning, bright and early. I've had some collegiate stuff going on, so we're good there. All the levels are good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack the questions in, I'll probably go in groups of 10, right? I'll do 10 questions and then go to the chat, see where I've screwed up, right? I have not seen these questions in advance. I've just had my elite tech team load them into a high-quality video overlay presentation. I am so fortunate to have my elite crew. All right, West Virginia, doing parts of Maryland as well. Gotcha, Jack. Excellent. Papa Les is here. Better late than never. I kind of screwed up the original stream, Les, so I am not surprised if anybody comes late. Les in Chicago rocking the Michigan helmet. Where is Darwin Sonata and our Michigan crew? All right. My background's looking good. I got an elite tech team. That's all there is to it. Uriel Wong, is there a difference between walling up and a moving screen? Is the wall-up defender allowed to guide the position of the ball handler? Okay, we usually refer to walling up as a defensive action, a player attempting, I would assume, basically affirming of the body. We've been in a defensive crouch, and now suddenly we're erect and firm. This would normally be what I would consider walling up. Correct me if I'm wrong. Player is allowed to do that. Sometimes that action can fool the official, right? We see them down and then they're up, and there's a perception that they either moved forward or some action like that. So would a screener be able to firm up? Maybe that's the term I would use in that situation, and they certainly are in an effort to prepare themselves to avoid contact. And is the wall-up defender allowed to guide the position of the ball handler? That's a little confusing. Explain that part of things. Rick in the house? Yes. A kickball, shot clock rules and restrictions. There's a full reset here in California for a kicked ball. In collegiate games, a kickball results in a reset to a lower level, like men's 30-second goes to 20-second, women's 30-second goes to 20. In a kickball where the shot clock is below that 20 number. In high school here in California, we've obviously had shot clocks for a long time, and a kickball is a full reset. Different states may handle things differently, so that's really important. It's much harder for states to adopt something where we're going to a lower number. So I'd be surprised if any high school states do that, but that's very forward thinking, and it's really great for the game. I know from my collegiate games, when we go to the lower reset number, it just keeps the game moving at a faster pace. Soon to be snowy South Dakota. I believe South Dakota voting on legalizing marijuana. It is nip and tuck. What's going on in the great state of South Dakota? All right, Ted. Richard Smith in Arkansas. Now, when you say that, now that sounds familiar. Maybe I have we've had you on the stream and I just didn't recognize your photo or what have you. So welcome to the Razorback State. We don't have a lot of Razorback officials here, but great to see. All right. Papa Les rocking the blue. Jared Wilson jumping in from Spokane. Jared, over the weekend, I had a collegiate game. It was an early game, so it wasn't, I was working on the cycle of fuel in the morning, arriving at the game site, physical activity, getting ready for the game, etc., preparing, taking to the court, continuing that preparation on the court, the whole full cycle. It went pretty well. I'd say in the post game, that's where I sort of, broke with the sequence. But, yeah. Working on it. The Zooch making it happen from the great state of Missouri. I see. Uriel asking about a defender, right? So in the case of a moving opponent and walling up, it's all about legal guarding position and whether that's been established or not. If a legal defender with a strong body forces the ball handler on a drive to not be able to continue in the path that they were going, right? Then, if the defender is legal, then the defender is legal and there is no foul. Sometimes you get that when you have a strong defender and a not necessarily strong offensive player. But at the same time, if the defender is bumping a offensive player who's on a path that our defender is not in, then we have illegal contact. By rule, use your judgment. Randy, that's sort of, there was something different about the stream this morning. I don't know what it was, right? I started an original stream. It didn't seem like anybody was there. My feedback here at the A Better Official World Headquarters was, hey, it's not on. So I don't know the situation, Randy, but it's great to see you here. And with that, since Randy's here and Papa Les, Chicagoland is in the house, so there's really no reason for a delay anymore. All right, let's see. So I want to go here. And I'm going to say, yeah, let's do that. I'm I'm going to hold on just a second here. That is unlocked. Let's see what I can do here. Am I making a mistake by doing that? We'll find out. All right, so I'm there. All right, today we are looking at NFHS Test 1 questions. Let's get started. All right, already we're screwed up. All right, today we're looking at NFHS Rules Test 1 questions. We will attack them, see what we can take from them, and whether we can get the plays right. All right, let's move on and go to question number 1. On a free throw, the ball becomes live when A, the ball is possessed, B, the ball is touched, C, the ball is at the disposal of the free thrower, or D, all of the above. Simple question to get us started. We like simple questions. Not a lot of words. Easy peasy, right? When does the ball become live? When does the ball become dead? Absolutely critical to officiating the game of basketball and knowing all of the things, right, that we need to know. The ball becomes live in a free throw situation or a throw-in situation when the ball is at the disposal of the thrower. So in this instance, C, the ball is at the disposal of the free thrower, is when the ball becomes live by rule. And our restart, one of the 3 restarts in the game of basketball, has begun. A simple question to get us going. Let's move on to question number 2. The ball is awarded out of bounds for A, a team control foul, B, a held ball after alternating possession procedure is established, C, a common foul before the bonus rule is in effect, or D, all of the above. The ball is awarded out of bounds. We will have a throw-in following which of these activities? A team control foul results in a throw-in to the opponent. A held ball after we have established alternating possession will result in a throw-in to the team who has the arrow in that instance. And C, a common foul before the bonus rule is in effect will result in a throw-in at the spot nearest the foul. So our correct answer here is D, all of the above. We got 2 quick questions, 2 easy answers. Let's go on to question number 3. It is a player technical foul to A, place a hand on the backboard to gain an advantage, B, intentionally slap or strike the backboard, C, grasp the basket ring during a dead ball, or D, all of the above. Let's take each one. To place a hand on the backboard to gain an advantage is a player technical foul by rule. Hard to think of this situation, but let's say a player jumps to attempt to block a shot, is short of where they need to be, puts a hand on the backboard to push themselves towards the player attempting the try in an effort to block their shot. That is illegal. To intentionally slap or strike the backboard in and of itself is a player technical foul. If in the judgment of the official that is in an attempt to block the shot, it is no longer intentionally slapping or striking, and that would be legal. C, to grasp the ring during a dead ball is a player technical foul by rule. Our correct answer is D, all of the above. Let's move on to question number 4. A bench technical foul is charged to A, the offender and indirect to the head coach, B, the offender, C, the head coach, D, the bench. This is a great question. I was just having an interaction with somebody talking about bench technicals, and it was hard for them to grasp. Okay, it's on the individual and the indirect on the head coach, right? We can get a little bit off kilter if we're thinking bench technical is on the bench, like on a physical thing or on a group of people, etc. A bench technical foul is charged to the offender and an indirect to the head coach. It's charged to an individual. Almost always, there is an exception. It's charged to an individual. That trainer who said, "Ref, you suck," that's a tech on that individual. They're not a team member. They're not on the coaching staff, but they are part of bench personnel, and a head coach is responsible for the behavior of bench personnel. That's really the critical thing. Anything that bench personnel does that arises to the level of a technical foul is a technical foul on the individual involved. And since the head coach is responsible, it is also an indirect technical foul on the head coach. So our correct answer here on question number 4, a bench technical foul is charged to the offender and an indirect to the head coach. And that's really good language, right? It's charged to the offender and the indirect to the head coach. If you could take that away and, in a moment of stress on the court, we've had it with that assistant coach. We, assess a technical foul, right? We're maybe in the moment where some officials may be animated, heated, emotional, or what have you. If we remember that the technical foul is on the offender and an indirect to the head coach, we are in great position to have success. All right, let's move on to question number 5. A designated throw-in spot behind the backboard shall be made from language. A, the nearer sideline. B, the spot nearest to where the ball went out of bounds. C, the nearer free throw lane line extended, or D, none of the above. Okay, all right. So the wording, we loved the wording on the previous question, the succinct answer. And now we're a little bit less accurate. A designated spot throw-in behind the backboard. I assume that means on the end line. Shall be made from the nearer sideline. That's obviously not correct. The spot nearest to where the ball went out of bounds. If we had an out of bounds violation, that would be correct. The nearer free throw lane line extended is mostly correct. The throw-in is not going to be from the lane line extended. It's going to be actually outside the lane area. So my answer here, because C is very close, but not quite accurate, my answer would be D. And I could be at risk of making a mistake here in terms of the test question, but that's my thinking. Obviously, we don't want players inbounding the ball under the basket. That's the spirit and intent of the answer. And I will take a look in the chat to see if I'm correct. Now I'm going with a C, the spirit intent, the nearer free throw lane line extended. We don't want to administer a designated spot throw in within the confines of the lane area extended. So that's the answer we're going with. And let's take a look in the chat. Is the answer C, Jason, on that one? Yes, I appreciate others' perception that our wording is not ideal here. And of course, the wording on test questions, right? The purpose of test questions to test whether the officials understand the rules, understand the officiating mechanics involved. How do we do that? We have to translate things from the game and put them in a text-based format, which can be challenging, right? It's challenging to, bring it in correctly, bring it in accurately, bring it in a way that's easy to communicate to somebody taking the test. Here's what we're asking on this question. But at the same time, make sure that we're testing the understanding of the officials, how to administer the game and officiate the rules correctly. So it's always a challenge. It's always a challenge. Okay. Yeah, because I think it's, I don't know, Ray. I don't know. All right. We're back here. But let's move on to... Yeah, let's move on to question number 6. When a player catches the ball with both feet on the floor and one foot is lifted, A, the other foot is the pivot foot. B, either foot may be the pivot foot. C, neither foot may be the pivot foot. Or D, none of the above. Of course, we personally got a better understanding of the pivot foot rules and restrictions previously in a previous episode of the Basketball Rules Expert, and I will put a link to the video in which we made that happen. Hey, we're always learning. We're always learning. Okay, when a player catches the ball with both feet on the floor and then one foot is lifted, we have established which of their feet will be the pivot foot if a pivot occurs. So that's going to bring into question what the correct answer here is, whether I can perceive it. The other foot is the pivot foot. We have established that that would be the pivot foot if pivoting action occurred. Either foot may be the pivot foot is not a correct statement. Neither foot may be the pivot foot is not a correct statement. Or D, none of the above. Again, we have to go with the spirit and intent of the question. A, the other foot is the pivot foot. Yes, the other foot is the pivot foot. Has a pivot occurred when a player catches the ball with both feet on the floor and then lifts one of their foot? Have they pivoted? No. No, they have not. Pivoting, 4-33, pivoting is the act of lifting the foot and replacing the foot legally. And that is something that did not happen in this situation, but I'm going to say rather the other foot is the pivot foot. Let me know if I'm wrong. But that's what we're going with. Question number 7. A closely guarded count shall not be started during A, a dribble, B, an interrupted dribble, C, a dribble away from the basket, or D, all of the above. I like that. We're not starting it away from the basket. Okay, a closely guarded count shall not be started, right? I'm taking the test, right? We want to make sure what the question is asking. During a dribble, we can then at that point start a closely guarded count if a defender is within 6 feet and guarding. So that would not be the answer. B, shall not be started during an interrupted dribble. That would be a correct statement. A dribble away from the basket would not be a correct statement, or D, all of the above, would not be a correct statement. So we should not start a closely guarded count during an interrupted dribble. Players dribbling. What is an interrupted dribble? An interrupted dribble is when the player loses control of the ball, whether it has gotten out of their reach, it bounced off their hand and away from them. It's still considered to be a dribble, but they no longer are in control, or they most commonly dribble the ball off of their foot. That would be an interrupted dribble. During an interrupted dribble, we should not start a closely guarded count. That's our answer. B. We're going with it and moving on to question number 8. A player may dribble a second time if the first dribble ended with the loss of control due to A, a pass that has touched another player. B, a try for field goal. C, touching of the ball by an opponent. Or D, all of the above. A player may dribble a second time if the first dribble ended with the loss of control due to, a pass that has touched another player. Okay, so I'm dribbling the ball. I pass to a teammate. The defender deflects it. It's within my reach. I go back and I start dribbling again. B, a try for field goal. C, touching of the ball by an opponent, right? I lost control. The dribble ended with a loss of control due to the touching of the ball by an opponent, or all of the above. In each of these three scenarios, the player would then be able to resume dribbling the basketball without restriction. They have passed the ball, touched by another player. A try for field goal ends team control. Touching of the ball by an opponent ends any restriction on dribbling the ball again. So our correct answer here would be D, all of the above. Moving on to question number 9. Basket interference occurs when A, a player touches the ball or any part of the basket while the ball is on or in the basket. That on or in the basket, that sounds familiar. A player touches the ball while any part of the ball is within the imaginary cylinder, which has the ring as its lower base. C, a player pulls down a movable ring so that it contacts the ball before the ring returns to its original position. Or D, all of the above. All right, great question. Good language in these answers, right? It's very precise and accurate. We like rules questions with precise and accurate language. If a player touches the ball or any part of the basket is the ring, the flange, the net, all three make up the basket. A player touches the ball or any part of the basket while the ball is on, sitting atop, or in the basket, in the net, as it were. That is a basket interference violation. B, a player touches the ball while any part of the ball is within the imaginary cylinder with the ring at its base. So now we're talking about a situation where the ball is above the ring, but is within the imaginary cylinder that the ring is the base. So it's like an imaginary cylinder. That is correct. Or C, a player pulls down a movable ring, and before the ring returns to its original position, it contacts the basketball. This will always give a trampoline effect. The ball will bounce high or have energy provided to it. And all three of those would be basket interference violation by rule. So our correct answer here is D, all of the above. And with that, let's move on to question number 10. An alternating possession throw-in results when A, a held ball occurs. B, a live ball lodges between the backboard and the ring. C, simultaneous free throw violations occur. D, two opponents simultaneously cause the ball to go out of bounds. Or E, all of the above. Okay, all right. We're going to have a spirit and intent of the question here, I think. If a held ball, yes, occurs and the possession arrow had been set, referring to our previous question, then we would have an alternating possession throw-in. D, if a live ball lodges between the backboard and the ring, yes, we will have, that is an alternating possession throw-in result. Simultaneous free throw violations occur. Maybe. Or D, two opponents simultaneously cause the ball to go out of bounds. That would result in it, right? Simultaneous free throw violations occur would result in an alternating possession throw-in if no free throws were to follow, right? If we have the first of two free throws, and we have somebody in a marked lane space from violate, and somebody outside the arc enters before the ball contacts the ring. We have a simultaneous violation. The ball becomes dead. No goal can be scored. but we would result in how are we going to proceed? We're going to proceed with the second merited free throw. So this question, puts us in a position of making a judgment about the intent of the question. If there was no free throw to follow, then we would have an alternating possession as the way to resume play if a simultaneous free throw violation occurred. So I'm going to answer this question E, knowing that there's a little exception in the possibilities on it. All right, let me know if I am incorrect in my assessment on that. All right. Ray asks, should we continue a closely guarded count if there is interrupted dribble? No, we should not. Would we, like a 3-second violation, do we suspend the count? No. We would resume, the count has ended. Once the player gains control, then we would start another count. Ted, did I get the question wrong? Or was I, one of the disadvantages we have when we do know the rules is we get frustrated with questions because there's, a sliver of it being inaccurate, or it makes an assumption, or what have you. But let me know if, in the chat, if I get anything wrong so I can go back and fix it. I mean, the purpose of this is not to say to people, hey, I'm taking the test so you can have the answers. That's certainly not the intent here, right? We are trying to have an educational experience to help people through the test taking process. And in doing so, just getting a better look at the rules, right? We want to look at the rules this way, and we want to look at the rules this way, and we want to look at the rules, from different angles. And when we do that, sometimes we can discover a misconception we may have about the rules, like I did about the pivot foot, thinking that the establishment of the pivot meant the player was pivoting, etc. So, good to see you, Chris. Haven't missed much. I'm sure you've taken the test already. I'm assuming that everybody's taken this test at this point, pretty much. Let me know if that's not. Jason says, if B1 violates on a free throw and it causes A1 to violate after, is that still a simultaneous violation? Well, that would depend, right? Are these players both in marked lane spaces? You did say it causes A1 to violate. That would not be a simultaneous violation. If the opponent of the thrower goes early and the teammate of the thrower reacts to that by going early as well, we ignore the teammate of the thrower's action as they were drawn in that situation. Oh, Cody, excellent. Great to see you. Hello. First year official, so no, I haven't taken the test. Is it on the agenda? Is it like scheduled that you have to take it, etc.? Let me know. All right, John says, I'm sorry about that text size. Team A has 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock when there is a held ball. Team A maintains control. Do you reset the clock? No, you do not. There's no reset in that situation where a held ball occurs and the shot clock. If the opponent obviously did. Excellent. Well, I don't think Jared. So Jared notes the distinction, right? It's like, well, alternating possession throw-in would result, but is the ball lodging a held ball, or is the result of the ball? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Or is the result of a ball lodging an alternating possession throw-in? And as I have famously done in the past, in my first year officiating on a situation where the ball became lodged, I insisted that the shot clock not be reset because the team was retaining control and my brain didn't recognize the fact that the ball had indeed lodged between what? The backboard rather, and the ring. Famously. Okay. All right. Well, like Collis says, welcome. We love it when first-year officials are in learning rules. And this is, this kind of, broadcast for me can really be valuable for newer officials because we're talking about the situation and the rules, etc. Right? And trying to, amplify. And there's no reset at high school. It's always full reset. Jason. Basket interference. This is not a thing in high school. In the absence of, I think what we're supposed to do is point to the basket, right? In the absence of a signal that accurately reflects the ruling that we have on the court, like a throw-in violation, what's the signal? We're supposed to point at the spot, right? If a player violated because they crossed over the line, we're not supposed to say, when they went back and forth, et cetera, like this. We're pointing at the line, et cetera. But what's the purpose of our signals, right? What is the purpose of the signals? To inform the players, inform our partners, inform the coaches, inform the stakeholders in the game what has occurred. So in the absence of approved signals, I always like to suggest that we communicate visually in some fashion, right? Without attempting to cause attention to ourselves, right? Remember that NFHS guidance is officials are not to attempt to draw attention to themselves by the use of non-approved signals. It doesn't say you're not supposed to use non-approved signals directly. It says you're not supposed to draw attention to ourselves by no, attempt to draw attention to themselves. That's always the loophole that I took advantage of when it came to using non-approved signals. Yes. But has a held ball occurred? What's the definition of a held ball? That's the question. Yes. All right. We're moving on. We're moving back. We're going. Najee, the seventh God. Excellent. Good to see you. Love it. New official in the house. Let's learn about the rules of high school basketball. Let's go to question number 11. If the alternating possession procedure has not been established and another jump ball is required, the jump ball shall be between A, the captains. That's creative. B, any two players. C, players involved in the previous action. Or D, players designated by the official. By rule here, we are the two players involved in securing the ball and holding it so tightly that rough play may ensue. Those two players, National Federation of High School Basketball rules, would then attempt the jump ball. And sometimes this could lead to a really humorous situation where we've got the two jumpers, they're the two tall players, they bat the ball, it's loose on the floor. Two other players, one from each team, go in, they grab the ball held so tightly, we have to rule a held ball. And we come out and we say these two players, and one of them is really tall, one of them is really short, and the little short player's like, me? But it's the C, players involved in the previous action. Let's move on to question number 12. Correctable errors involve A, failure to award a merited free throw, B, awarding an unmerited free throw, C, permitting a wrong player to attempt a free throw, or D, all of the above. All right, correctable errors. Rule 2-10 covers them. And failure to award a merited free throw is a correctable error scenario. Will it be corrected? Well, that'll be dependent on when it's recognized, of course. But failure to award a merited free throw is one of the correctable error scenarios. B, awarding an unmerited free throw is absolutely one as well. Permitting a wrong player to attempt a free throw as well. So correct answer here would be D. All of the above involve, correctable errors involve. Okay, that's what we're going with. Moving on. 13. A coaching box may not A, extend onto the playing court, B, extend less than 12 feet, C, extend more than 12 feet, D, be a different color. Okay. This is where Greg gets wrong sometimes. A coaching box may not. Which of these may the coach's box not be? The coach's box A cannot extend onto the playing court, right? I believe NFHS establishes that the coaching box, states have the ability to make rules about the coaching box, whether it's optional, etc. And obviously, it may not extend onto the playing court. It can be a different color. It can extend more than 12 feet. It can extend less than 12 feet. That is the judgment of the state, how they want to handle that. So we're going with a coaching box may not extend onto the playing court as the correct answer. A. That's what we're going with. And we're moving on to question 14. A ball in contact with a player with 1 foot in the backcourt is considered to be in the A, backcourt, B, front court, C, neither court, or D, out of bounds. All right, so for our new officials, understanding status in the game. The ball, what is the status? Is it in the front court? Is it in the back court? Is it live? Is it dead? Is there team control? Is there no team control? Status. Understanding that, critical. So a player, so the ball status is defined by where it last contacted the court or where it last contacted a player on the court. A ball in contact with a player with 1 foot in the back court is considered to be. Where is the player? What is their status when they are in contact with the back court? By rule, they are in the back court. The ball contacts the player whose status is in the back court. The ball gains the status of the player. The ball could be, 6 feet, in the front court, above the front court, in the air. But when it's contacted by that player, the ball's status then becomes the status of the player. The player's status is backcourt. Our correct answer here is backcourt. And we're moving on. 15. A ball which touches a or an blank is the same as the ball touching the floor in that individual's location. Sounds familiar. A ball which touches a teammate is the same as the ball touching the floor at that individual's location. An official, an opponent, or all of the above. Okay, so what we're introducing here is the official, right? A teammate is a player. A player's status is determined by where they are in contact or were in last contact with the court. An opponent, their status would be the same. An official is where they are in contact with the court. So a ball which touches any of these three individuals is the same as the ball touching the floor at that individual's location. I would say D is... Am I going wrong here? If a ball which touches an official is the same as the ball touching the floor at that individual's location, but that applies to, I'm going with D, all of the above. I'm not going askew here. That's what we're going with. D, all of the above. Let me know if I got that wrong. A ball which touch is the same as the ball touching the floor at that individual's location. It would be at where the individual last touched the court. Again, a ball which touches an opponent. They've jumped from the back court. They are in the air. They touch the ball. That individual's location. It's kind of dodgy language. Let's just put it that way. But if Les says all of the above, I'm going to say I'm confident in my judgment. Yes, correct, Jason. All right, what have I missed? All right. Guess that's a shot clock discussion. Greetings from El Paso. Greetings. Good to see you. Well, Tyrone, that's one of the afflictions. If you are really well versed with the rules, is you inherently almost go down the wrong path by reading between the lines a little bit. So that's great advice for me in this situation. All right, let's move on now to question 16. A disqualified player becomes bench personnel when the blank is notified. Something we have to know when the player is notified. No. B, the head coach is notified. C, the timer is notified. D, the captain is notified. A player becomes disqualified when we inform the coach. Coach, that player has 5, or coach, that player's disqualified due to a flagrant foul, a second technical foul, etc. Coach, that player is disqualified. Almost always it's because they have 5 fouls, but that is the correct answer. When the head coach is a disqualified player becomes bench personnel when the head coach is notified. Now, they still may be on the court when the head coach is notified. They may still have actions while they are on the court that rise to the level of a technical foul, pulling off their jersey, some such, etc. So understanding whether or not they are bench personnel is critical, because once they are bench personnel, their actions, if they rise to the level of a technical foul, also result in an indirect technical on the head coach. All right, moving on. Question 17. A dribble begins by. This is a great question. A, pushing the ball to the floor. B, batting the ball to the floor. C, throwing the ball to the floor. Or D, all of the above. Pushing, batting, or throwing the ball to the floor begins a dribble by a player in control of the ball. So our correct answer here is D, all of the above. Let's move on to question 18 and hope it's just as easy. A free throw ends when A, the try is successful. B, when it is certain the try will not be successful. C, when the try touches the floor or another player. Or D, all of the above. Right? This is a D, all of the above. When the try is successful, right? So a free throw ends. Well, why do we need to know when a free throw ends? Because free throw is one of the 3 restarts in the game of basketball. During a restart, there is a special set of rules and restrictions that are brought in that only apply during the event. During the free throw, there are free throw rules and restrictions. During a jump ball, during a throw-in, etc. Once these events end, those restrictions end. So it's understanding when each of the restarts starts and when each of the restarts ends is another critical component, especially for new basketball officials, as we learn the rules of National Federation of High School. So our correct answer here is D, all of the above. And we're moving on to number 19. A player holding the ball, A, may not touch the floor with any other body part. B, shall announce which foot he or she will use as a pivot foot. C, may touch the floor with a hand. D, may kneel with the non-pivot foot. That is a fantastic answer. I want to go with B just because of the hilarity of the possibility. A player holding the ball may not touch the floor with any other body part except a hand. That player holding the ball may lose their balance, place a hand on the floor, and this is not a violation by rule. If they touch a knee, if they fall to their backside, if they put an arm down, right, and touch the floor, as opposed to a hand, it would be a violation. So our correct answer here, despite me wanting it to be B, announcing, I'm going to use right foot pivot, ref. A player holding the ball, C, may touch the floor with a hand. That would be a legal play. And we're moving on to question 20. A tap for goal is the contacting of the ball with A, a hand, B, the head, C, the arm, or D, all of the above. Okay. A tap for goal is the contacting of the ball with a hand. That's a really simple, straightforward answer. And understanding that a tap for goal, tapping is defined by rule. So when we get into rebounding situation where the ball is tapped to an opponent, it doesn't really apply. Tap is an action attempting to bat a ball in flight into the basket. And so our correct answer here is A, hand. I think. Oh boy, I found that really tickled me funny bone. I'll tell you that much. All right, those are all a pretty straightforward group of questions. So let's move on to our very next question. 21. A tap is considered the same as A, a pass, B, a fumble, C, a try, or D, a dribble. Tapping is the attempt for a player to score a goal, to bat, tip, contact the ball in such a fashion that it goes in the basket. It is essentially a try for goal, but it is separate from the definition of a try. Well, it's part of as well. Our correct answer here is C. I'm going to stop talking so I don't get myself into trouble. Tapping the ball is the same as a try. And we're moving on. 22. A team warning for delay may be issued for which of the following? A throw-in plane violation. B, interfering with the ball following a goal. C, failure to have the court ready for play following a timeout. Or D, all of the above. If a defender violates a throw-in plane during a throw-in, that team may be issued a warning for delay. If they interfere with the ball following a goal, they may be issued a warning for delay. If they fail to have the court ready for play following a timeout, they have left water on the floor, there's a puddle, a player spilled some water, etc. That would also be a situation where a team warning for delay may be issued. So our correct answer here is D, all of the above. Moving on to question 23. A team foul does not include A, technical foul on a player, B, personal foul on a player, D, direct technical foul on the head coach, or C, direct technical foul on the head coach, or D, indirect technical foul on the head coach. A team foul does not include team fouls, National Federation of High School, very simple. All fouls count towards team fouls towards bonus. All fouls, right? So, well, these are all fouls, right? No, they're not. Indirect technical fouls are not technical fouls. Indirect technical fouls are not fouls. Indirect technical fouls are simply a bookkeeping mechanism where we establish that the coach has some additional liability related to the behavior of bench personnel that have received technical fouls. So in this instance, our correct answer would be D, an indirect technical foul on the head coach, because indirect technical fouls, even though they have the verbiage technical fouls, are not actually technical fouls. All right, 24. A team is in control, A, during a pass between teammates, B, during an interrupted dribble, C, when the ball is at the disposal of a player for a throw-in, or D, all of the above. Again, understanding status, team control, no team control, etc., critical for basketball officials. Our correct answer here would involve when a team is passing the ball between teammates. A pass between teammates, we're implying that the ball is live on the court. In order to have a pass between teammates, we must have team control on the court. Team control does not end during a pass between teammates. Team control does not end during an interrupted dribble. And when the ball is at the disposal of a player for a throw-in, team control is given by rule only for the administration of fouls. But the correct answer here would be D, all of the above. The team is in control, has team control. And we're moving on to 25. A technical foul is A, a foul by a non-player, B, a non-contact foul by a player, C, an intentional foul while the ball is dead, or D, all of the above. Let's review. A foul by a non-player. The opposing team is fast breaking. A team member sitting on the bench extends a leg and trips a player on the court. That is a technical foul on that non-player. That individual would be assessed a bench technical foul. There would be an indirect on a head coach. Or correct, B rather, a non-contact foul by a player. Non-contact, a taunt, etc. An insult, verbiage direct at them would be a technical foul. C, an intentional foul while the ball is dead ball contact. That would be an intentional technical foul by rule if that contact rose to the level of whatever's appropriate there. Or D, all of the above. So D would be our correct answer here for question 25. We are halfway home. Jack, great to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you. We love the Zooch. We love the all of the above. And as Mike Connors in a previous episode said, always choose, when in doubt, choose all of the above. So we appreciate that. And with that, let's move on. Question 26. A try for field goal is an attempt by a player to score 2 or 3 points by throwing the ball into, wait a minute, this should be pretty easy, the opponent's basket, a team's own basket, C, either basket, or D, none of the above. Ooh, okay. A try for field goal is an attempt by a player to score 2 or 3 points by throwing the ball into their own basket. Throwing the ball towards an opponent's basket, even if it's an attempt to put the ball in that basket because the player has become confused, etc., is not a try for goal by rule. So our correct answer here is B, a team's own basket. 27. A player exhibiting the following signs of concussion shall be removed from the game. A, thirst. B, hunger. C, anger. Or D, dizziness. I love this question. Or, well, I guess we could have E, hangry, combining hunger and anger. But obviously, a player exhibiting confusion, etc. In this instance, dizziness, right? If they become dizzy, right, immediately, we need to replace that player. They are at risk. They have exhibited a sign of concussion. Our correct answer here would be D. Moving on, question 28. A player who has been replaced may not re-enter until A, after the clock has properly started, B, the ball becomes live, at least 10 seconds have run off the clock, or D, the ball becomes dead again. A player who has been replaced, a substitute has replaced that player. That player, that former player who's, are they a player when they're, cannot return to the game until the clock has properly started. Right? We could have multiple free throws. The ball could be live, dead. Many things can occur. But until the clock has properly started, that individual may not re-enter the game once they have been properly substituted for. Moving on, question 29. A substitute becomes a player when A, the substitute reports to the scorer, B, the substitute has both feet inside the playing court, C, the substitute is beckoned by an official and legally enters the court, or D, all of the above. Okay, when does a substitute become a player? Substitute reports to the scorer. They are still a substitute. At that point, they've actually become a substitute when they report to the table. A substitute has both feet inside the playing court? No. So those cannot be correct. C, the substitute is beckoned by an official and legally enters the court. They're properly reported. They are beckoned by the official. At that point, they become a player by rule. Moving on, question 30. A head coach is assessed a blank technical foul for unsporting acts or conduct committed by an assistant coach. What kind of technical foul would the head coach be assessed for unsporting acts by the conduct committed by an assistant coach? A direct technical foul, B, an indirect technical foul, C, a flagrant technical foul, or D, none of the above. As we've reviewed previously, the head coach is responsible for the behavior of bench personnel. If bench personnel, that individual, receives a technical foul, the head coach bears responsibility for that behavior and receives an indirect technical foul by rule. So in this situation, the head coach is assessed an indirect technical foul for unsporting acts or conduct committed by an assistant coach. And of course, this implies that the unsporting act or unsporting act or conduct committed by an assistant coach rose to the level of a technical foul, and a technical foul was assessed on that individual. So that's 30. All right, we're moving on. Question 31. A head coach is assessed a direct technical foul for which of the following infractions? Which of these would lead to a direct technical foul? Okay, unlike many of the NFHS test questions, this question has a lot of words. I got to do some reading here. A, failing to replace a disqualified injured player within 15 seconds. Does that result in a direct technical foul on a head coach? Yes. B, allowing a team member to participate while wearing an illegal uniform. We've gone to the coach. Coach, are your players legally equipped? Yes, they are. So they've given us confirmation. But indeed, a team member who participates wearing an illegal uniform. Oh, not illegal equipment. All right, I almost went astray. Illegal uniform, right? They are wearing a uniform that has an illegal number 6, right? Illegal by rule. That would result in a direct technical foul. Yes, the penalty for a team having, one player having, or multiple players having an illegal uniform, the penalty is a direct technical foul on the head coach. So I'm leaning towards D as our answer here. C, permitting a team member to participate after being removed from the game for disqualification. Indeed, that player has 5, coach, and that player re-enters the game. That's a direct on the head coach for allowing that to occur. So our correct answer here is indeed D, all of the above. My reading comprehension almost got me there. All right, moving on. Question 32. During a dead ball, an unequal number of players from each team participate in an on-court fight. Assuming no bench players from either team leave the bench area, how will the ball be put into play following all the required free throws? Okay, so what has occurred? On the court, there has been a fight, and there have been an unequal number of players participating, meaning 2 from white and 1 from black, 3 from white, 1 from black, 2 from black, 2 from black, 1 from white, right? There's been an unequal number. In that situation, we're going to assess all the appropriate fouls, disqualify all the players involved, and then there's going to be penalties for those actions involving technical foul free throws or foul free throws. We will resume the game ultimately with a division line throw-in opposite the table to the team that had the fewer number participating, because the penalty on the team that had the greater number will result in the team with the lesser number receiving free throws and the ball for division line throw-in opposite the table. So A, alternating possession throw-in would not occur. Now, if we had 2 from each, 2 from black, 2 from white, right, and let's say there was no team control, we would need to resume for the game with an AP throw-in. B, a point of interruption throw-in for the offended team. No, because we're going to have free throws in this situation. A division line throw-in for the offended team. By offended team, we're saying the team that had fewer players participate in the fight. So in the end, that's what we're going with. C is our correct answer, division line throw-in for the offended team. It's kind of a it's not the simplest, clear question, right? We have to sort of think it through. And I've thought it through. Have I thought it through correctly? That's never a given. Oh. Let's take a look. Gabe, no, this is NFHS test number 1. Study guide questions were all answered in over the course of several hours. All right. So is my answer correct here? Is the division line throw-in for the offended team would result in a situation? I'm pretty confident in that. So let's move on to question number 33. A blank foul may be a personal or technical foul of a violent or savage nature. Violent or savage nature. I have heard that somewhere before, right? That is rules book language. A, intentional foul may be personal or technical of a violent or savage. B, flagrant foul. C, double foul. Or D, common foul. Our correct answer here is flagrant. The definition of a flagrant foul in the rules book involves the language violent or savage in nature. So our correct answer here is B. A flagrant foul may be a personal or technical, could have a flagrant technical, dead ball contact, shove a player to the floor, etc., of a violent or savage nature. Swing an elbow, fight, swing, throw a punch, etc. Violent or savage in nature. Our correct answer. Let's move on to 34. A foul committed by a member of the throw-in team from the start of the throw-in until player control is obtained in bounds is A, player control foul, B, an intentional foul, C, a team control foul, or D, a false double foul? A foul committed by a member of the throw-in team. Remember, we've given the throw-in team control when the ball is placed at the disposal of the thrower for a throw-in. And until a player has gained control inbounds, player control, that team remains in team control for the administration of fouls until somebody on the court gains player control and thus establishes team control on the court. So our correct answer here would be C, a foul committed by a member of the throw-in team. Right, the throw-in gets loose, two players are pursuing, a teammate of the thrower pushes the other player so that they can gain control of the ball. What kind of foul is that? That is a team control foul by rule. We've established team control during the throw-in for the purpose of administering fouls, and that's what we have here on this play. Correct answer is C, team control foul by rule. 35, a non-contact foul which consists of unfair, unethical, or dishonorable contact is what kind of foul? A, an intentional foul, B, an unsporting foul, C, a common foul, or D, none of the above. This would be an unsporting foul, a tactical foul. Is B the correct answer? Or am I being fooled here? This is a tactical foul. This is unsporting action. I'm going with B. I will not be fooled again. Let's go. Oh, I'm not sure which question, Randy, you're referring to here. I guess a key takeaway on this question is, could a non-contact foul be an intentional foul? No. Could a non-contact foul be a common foul? No. Right? Unsporting here is our only option, or none of the above. All right, we're moving on. Question 36. A team control foul is A, an intentional foul, B, a flagrant foul, C, a tactical foul, or D, a common foul. A team control foul is, okay, so let's say we have a team that's in control, right? We have established player control on the court. Let's say we have players dribbling and one of the teammates of the team in control commits an intentional foul. Is that a team control foul? They commit a flagrant foul. Is that a team control foul? And they say, ref, you suck. A tactical foul. Is that a team control foul? None of those are team control fouls. A team control foul is a common foul. Illegal screen would be a great example, right? A team in control, when they commit a foul, it is not necessarily a team control foul. That would be a takeaway from this. They could be assessed an intentional foul, a flagrant foul, or a tactical foul, but they would not be team control fouls in that instance. Number 37, which of the following changes to the scorebook with less than 10 minutes before the scheduled starting time results in an administrative tactical foul? A, adding a name to the team member list. That would be an administrative tactical foul. Less than 10 minutes, yes. Changing a designated starter except for injury or illness. C, requiring a player to change the number in the scorebook, or D, all of the above. Everything about this question leads to all of the above. Changing a designated starter except for injury or illness, right? So we have listed a designated starter. We expected them to arrive. They have not arrived. I have to change my designated starters. So I'm going with D, all of the above. My certainty level on that on B is it doesn't happen, right? So but very often we may have a designated starter who twists an ankle during warm-ups, tells the coach, I can't go. I got, they got chills or whatever. They have to, go vomit, whatever. Illness or injury are valid reasons to replace a designated starter. But I'm going with D, all of the above. 38 rather. An undershirt is required to A, be a single solid color, B, be similar color to the torso of the jersey, C, be the same length if it has sleeves, D, all of the above. B, the same length. Sleeves, if the undershirt has sleeves, those sleeves are required to be the same length. That's odd verbiage there, but a correct answer here would be D, all of the above. It is a single solid color, similar to the predominant color of the torso of the jersey. Green jersey, green undershirt, similar color. The green undershirt is required to be an exact color match. Could it be slightly lighter, slightly darker? Yes, it has to be similar color to the torso of the jersey. And let's move on to question number 39. After coming to a stop, when neither foot can be a pivot. All right, it's a pivot foot question. A, one or both feet may be lifted but not returned to the floor before a pass. B, neither foot may be lifted before the ball is released to start a dribble. C, one or both feet may be lifted but not returned to the floor before a try. Or D, all of the above. There's a lot of words. I'm going to have to look at this closely because I'm at risk. After coming to stop, when neither foot can be a pivot. So let's say a player has caught the ball in the air, jumped off one, landed on two. At that point, one or both feet may be lifted but not returned to the floor before a pass. Well, wait a minute. When you lift a foot in that situation, you have established a pivot foot, right? So neither foot can be a pivot, right? So that's got to be a violation, right? This is a lesson we learned relatively recently. While that would establish which foot would be the pivot, this player has not pivoted in this instance by lifting a foot in a situation where neither foot can be the pivot. If they actually pivot, as defined by 4-33, lift the foot and return it to the floor, then it would be a violation. So I'm going to go with A as our correct answer. One or both. Oh, no. One or both feet may be lifted but not returned to the floor before a pass. Yes, so they can lift one and pass. They can lift both by jumping and pass. Yes, we're going with A. I won't be talked out of it. And we're moving on. Question 40. A player may legally jump from the front court, secure control of the ball with both feet off of the floor, and return to the floor with one or both feet in the back court. A, during a jump ball. B, during a throw-in. C, while on defense. Or D, all of the above. The backcourt rule, National Federation of High School Basketball Rules, has an exception that allows a player to legally jump from their front court, secure control of the ball in the air with both feet off of the floor, and return to the floor with one or both feet in the backcourt. And it matters not which foot lands first, as long as they make a normal landing, in 3 situations: during a jump ball, during a throw-in, while on defense. So our correct answer to this question is D, all of the above. Okay. Did I get my pivot foot question correct? It looks like there's no uproar in the chat. So we'll go with that. All right. Let's move on now to question 41. It is an out-of-bounds violation if a player, A, leaves the court to avoid a screen, B, leaves the court to avoid a foul, C, leaves the court to avoid teammates, or D, all of the above. It is an out-of-bounds violation if a player intentionally leaves the court, right? A player whose momentum carries them off of the court, players going to the basket, passes to a teammate, their momentum carries them past the end line, right? Legal play. A player who intentionally leaves the court to avoid a screen, to avoid a foul, or avoid a teammate on the court would be a violation. So we're going with D, all of the above. These are all going to be judgment calls in this situation. And we're moving on to question 42. A try for goal on a free throw attempt shall be made within, this is easy. A, 10 seconds. B, 15 seconds. C, 20 seconds. D, 25 seconds. This brings about an important situation in the game. If you have a blowout, and there's a lot of fouls in the game, it certainly seems like players, and you have a dawdling free thrower, it seems like it takes forever. Our correct answer here is very simple. The correct answer is A, 10 seconds. A try for goal on a free throw attempt shall be made by the thrower within 10 seconds after the ball is placed at their disposal. And we're moving on to question 43. If the player awarded the free throw attempt is withdrawn from the game because of injury, the free throw shall be attempted by A, the injured player's substitute, B, the last player entered into the book who is not currently in the game, C, any of the remaining 4 players in the game as selected by the coach, or D, none of the above. Okay, we have a situation where a player it was a hard foul, or it was not a hard foul, but they landed awkwardly on the play and are injured. Coach, we bring them onto the court. That player is required to be replaced by rule in this situation. Who would shoot the subsequent free throws? The injured player's substitute would attempt the free throws. It's not the last player in the book. It's not any of the remaining 4 players in the game as selected by the coach. Or could it be? Or D, none of the above. If we had a situation where due to players fouling out or a limited roster size, a team only had 5 players who were in the game, they had no available substitutes on the bench, and our player was removed, who would shoot the free throws in that situation? Somebody has to shoot them. And it would be a player on the court in that situation. But that's not the intent of the question. Who attempts free throws for an injured player? The injured player's substitute would be our correct answer. 44. Which of the following constitutes illegal contact? This sounds like an all of the above question. An offensive player using a forearm to prevent an opponent from attacking the ball during a dribble. That would be illegal contact, to ward off a defender to protect the ball. Contact created when a dribbler ends a dribble, causing a dribbler trailing the dribbler to put... Contact created when the dribbler ends a dribble, causing a defender trailing the dribbler to push into the dribbler, right? To the stop short move. Placing a hand on the arm of a ball handler, or D, all of the above. They all sound like illegal contact to me. I'm going with D. Just like the way the question was worded, it was guiding us towards all of the above. Which of the following constitutes illegal contact? Let's move on to question 45. By definition, which of the following is not considered a violation? A, traveling. B, basket interference or goaltending by a player at the opponent's basket. C, dribbling the ball a second time after the player's first dribble has ended. D, a player accidentally kicking the ball during live ball action. Which of these is not considered a violation? Well, the last one jumps to the forefront. A player accidentally kicking the ball during live ball action. A player cannot accidentally kick the ball if we're talking about kicking as a violation. Kicking as a violation is an intentional act. So accidentally contacting the ball with the foot or the leg is not a kicking action. That leaps off as a possible answer here, which is not considered. Traveling is considered a violation. Basket interference or goaltending is a violation. Dribbling the ball a second time after the first dribble has ended is an illegal dribble and a violation. So our correct answer here is D. Intentionally or accidentally kicking the ball or accidentally contacting the ball with the leg or foot during live ball action is not a violation. All right, 46 is up next. Following the free throw of a technical foul, A1 makes a throw-in from the division line opposite the scoring table. The throw-in pass is deflected by B1 at A1's free throw line and goes directly through Team A's basket. This is not a play that you're going to see every day. We have a division line throw-in. We throw the ball. Opponent of the thrower deflects the ball. It goes up in the air and through Team A's basket. A, score 2 points for Team A. Really? On a throw-in? B, the throw-in ended when the ball was touched by an inbounds player. That sounds like a true statement. C, the fact that it was not a try for goal does not affect the scoring of 2 points. Right? We know it's a throw-in violation. It is a throw-in violation to throw a throw-in pass into either goal or to have the ball lodged at either basket. That is a throw-in violation by rule. But is that what happened on this play? The player released the throw-in pass and it was deflected by a defender. At that point, the throw-in has ended. Remember, throwing the ball into the basket is a throw-in violation. Can we have a throw-in violation after a throw-in has ended? No. Remember, special rules and restrictions during the throw-in. Throw-in has ended. It cannot be a violation. Any live ball that passes through the goal shall be scored for that team. In this instance, that is exactly what we have. We are going to score the 2 points for Team A. The throw-in did end with the legal touching. The fact that it was not a try for goal does not affect the scoring of the 2 points. We are going with D, all of the above. Number 47, which of the following is goaltending? A, B34 touches the ball outside the cylinder on a free throw attempt. So an opponent of the thrower touches the ball on the cylinder on a free throw attempt. B, B34 touches the ball in a downward flight outside the cylinder above ring level. C, B34 touches the ball in its downward flight outside the cylinder and above ring level on an inbounds pass. Or D, both A and B. Oh boy, a lot of words. Let's look at C. During a throw-in pass, the ball is touched on a downward flight outside the cylinder. While we can have basket interference during a throw-in, the ball would have to be in the cylinder with the base, the imaginary ring, or on the basket, etc. Doing a goaltending action during a throw-in is not illegal. We know that during a free throw, to touch the ball outside the cylinder on a free throw attempt is goaltending. And B34 touches the ball on downward flight outside the cylinder and above ring level. The implication there is this is a goaltending action. Of course, there's one more requirement for it to be goaltending. The ball has to have a chance to go in. If we had a situation where there was a try, but it was wildly offline, it was going from the top of the arc towards the basket, but it was like at the edge of the backboard. And B34 touched the ball on its downward flight while it was still above ring level, right? That would not be goaltending because the ball did not have a chance to go in, right? But we're looking at the spirit and intent of the question. I would say the spirit is to imply that the ball had a chance to go in. So our correct answer here, I'm going with D, both A and B. During a free throw, to goaltend during a free throw, and to touch the ball on its downward flight outside the cylinder but above ring level and have a chance to go in would be goaltending by rule. All right, question 48. We're in the home stretch. A player control signal Number 36, hand behind the head, is used to indicate which of the following here in 2022. A common foul committed by a player dribbling the ball would be a player control foul, and we would use the player control foul signal. A common foul committed by an airborne shooter, player control foul by rule. C, a common foul committed by a member of the team that has control of the ball, a team control foul. Or D, all of the above. Would a team control foul use this signal? NFHS says yes. This is our approved signal for a team control foul going forward. Some states deviate from that, but this is an NFHS rules test. So our correct answer is D, all of the above. That would be the approved signal to use. All right, 49. Point of interruption is a method of resuming play after A, a double personal foul, B, a correctable error, C, an official's inadvertent whistle, or D, an interrupted game, or E, all of the above. My tech team has produced a bad graphic. I'm going to ration the kibble tonight. Do we resume at the point of interruption after a double personal foul? Yes. Yes, we do. Let's look at C. Do we, after an official blows a whistle inadvertently, they thought there was a timeout request, what have you, how would we resume play? Point of interruption. An interrupted game, the lights go out, right? I assume that's what we mean by an interrupted game. Or B, a correctable error, right? Are we going to resume at the point of interruption after a correctable error? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. We may, but if we're going to resume, no. The correct answer here is B, a correctable error. After a correctable error, we will not necessarily resume at the point of interruption. I'm confident. Let's move on to 50. While dribbling, the player is considered in the front court when A, either foot and the ball touch the front court, B, the ball touches the front court, C, both feet and the ball touch the front court, D, both feet touch the front court. I'm assuming this question is asking when a player is dribbling from the back court to the front court. When that is the case, the ball does not gain front court status until both feet and the ball contact the court. If a player dribbles across the division line and still is dribbling the ball in the back court, the ball has backcourt status. If the player dribbles to the division line and is dribbling the ball in the front court, but one or both of their feet are in contact with the backcourt, the ball has backcourt status. Not until all 3 points, right, as many officials refer to in any backcourt question, when a player is dribbling from the backcourt to the front court, the ball remains in the backcourt until the player has established all 3, both feet and the ball, in the front court. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So our correct answer here is both feet and the ball touch the front court. The correct answer is C. And as Gabe Lopez notes, yes. All right, here we are. All right, now, what's going to happen next? There's 5 video questions. What is going to happen with the broadcast? All right, that completes the 50 NFHS test questions. There's also 5 video questions. Let's take a look at those. I'm going to go here. That's not working. All right. Let me get my elite tech team on the case here. I'm going to put that into play. I'm going to make that VLC. Make that. Give me just a second here. I violated the first rule. Bear with me. Boy, oh boy, that's terrible. Option. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to add a screen share. Thanks for bearing with me. Let's make this VLC. Let's make this I got it. I got it. We're making it happen. That's what we want. Yay. All right, here's video question 51. On this off-ball action after passing the ball, we have this contact which causes a player to go to the floor. Who is the foul on? Should a foul be ruled on this play? Let me go here. Let me go here. Oh. Okay, based on the action between blue 20 and white 23, blue number 20, our defender on this play, should have been called for a personal foul, should have been called for an intentional foul, should have been called for a flagrant foul. The official made the correct no call on the play. All right. We have a defender. Boy, oh boy. Could easily have no call on the play. You could have an illegal screen on the thrower, on the player who passed the ball. The defender is obviously trying to get out to the shooter. I do not know what to rule on this play. I mean, I don't know what the test wants. Whether this is, a player has been displaced. Let's say we should have had a personal foul. I'm going to go with A. I think that's the spirit intent of the rules question. Randy joins me and says that's his opinion as well. That's what we're going with. So our correct answer here is A. Blue number 20 should have been called for a personal foul. All right, let's move on now to a next video question Video question 52. During this action, the head coach from either team could request and be granted a timeout. A, true. B, false. Right? First thing that jumps off to me is this is the worst possible clip that we could have used on this for this. Let's take a look here. I mean, to me, if we had in the mechanics manual or rules book, what is the definition of a closed look? You cannot see what happens on this play. But I guess we have a situation. The spirit and intent, again, of our rules question here is in a situation where we have where neither team has player control? Should we grant a request from either team for a timeout? And the answer would be false. The head coach from either team should not be granted a timeout in this predicament. There's so many variables here. Not an obvious situation. All of these video questions are sort of in the same boat. Let's take a look at the next one. Video question 53.
There's a new number on the court for Roman Catholic, and it's not a number we have. I'm wondering if that's Farmer.
I think it's Farmer had to change jerseys because he had blood on his
right
number 3.
So the shot from Skillings is good. It's 25-24. Yeah. So Farmer's now number 5 instead of number 3.
All right, our announcers coming out of a timeout. The announcers noticed that number 3 is now number 5 after changing uniform tops. That would be like a jersey, due to blood on the jersey. Changing a team member's number in the scorebook should have resulted in a technical foul. A, true. B, false. When a player must replace their jersey due to blood on that jersey, should a technical foul result? Potentially. Was the proper procedure used? Were the officials informed? Did the officials, have the scorebook changed to reflect? Did they communicate all of the things, etc.? The simple fact of changing the number, again, we have to go with the spirit and intent here of the question. Making a change in the scorebook by a player adopting a new jersey with a new jersey number after having to replace that jersey due to blood on the jersey is not a technical foul if all of the things were done correctly. So, changing a team member's number in the scorebook should have resulted in a technical foul. I'm going to go with the correct answer here being false. It should not have, assuming, again, that the player just didn't do, if the player leaves because of blood, hey, coach, we got blood on the jersey, I need a substitute. And then the player comes back in and they're wearing a different number, and nobody had been informed, then that would be illegal. It would be illegal by rule, and a technical foul would be assessed. So we're assuming here in this game that all the procedures were followed correctly and that this would be a legal play. And as Randy says, false, specific casebook covers this. Right, yeah. Of course, none of that is explained in the video, so that's a thing. That's a thing. Let me do that. And let's do that. And let's move on to video question 54.
Let's see if they try to go inside with Carson Howard out of the game. For
Farmer with the 2, it falls.
That's what they did. They attacked the basket.
All right, our question here on the drive by purple, number 5. By rule, does he travel? Yes or no? Oh, this is my favorite question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 words. My favorite. All right, let's take a look at this play. Does this player travel? They are dribbling. They pick up the ball. Then, with one foot on the floor, step and return that foot to the floor. Right? Left foot was the pivot when they picked up the ball. This is a traveling violation by rule. Pretty straightforward. We like straightforward questions. And let's move on to one final video question. Question 55.
3, Farmer. Stuck. 3, Farmer. Stuck.
What the heck? After the shot taken by purple, number 5, what is the call? I assume that means what would be the ruling? And our correct answers are A, possession stays with the offense. B, possession is granted to the defense. C, alternating possession. Or D, jump ball. At the high school level, this would simply be an alternating possession throw-in would result. Our correct answer is C. And we've gotten through the video questions. We've gotten through the NFHS Rules Test #1 questions. Hope you found value as we discuss the questions, discuss the rules, tear them apart a little bit, look for what the question is ultimately asking so that we can become better as basketball officials. Obviously, we need to pass the test, right? Testing is obviously part of what we do as basketball officials. But again, the most important thing is that we can apply the rules accurately on the court during the game when it's most important. Thanks for joining us today for 5 Play Friday as we look at the National Federation of High School Basketball Rules Test. And I did break there. Now would be a great time, if you haven't already, to do all of the things like subscribe to A Better Official so you don't miss out on any of our new content. I will make sure to put additional video content here. You make your choice. You choose wisely, and we'll see you in the very next video. That's how I'm going to end the edited live stream. Thanks, Tyrone. That was fun. That was pretty straightforward. What's our timing like? 1:48. Oof, that's long. Thanks, Jared. Oh, Gabe, you've been away. Yeah, we've had interior designers come in. The tech team's working with the lighting and all sorts of stuff. I don't know about any of this stuff. Fortunately, I have an elite group of my production team, Gus and Oliver, making all of the things happen. And of course, they are available for birthdays and bar mitzvahs. Awesome. Is it Friday? What? Oh, I get it, Zooch. Yes, we've had 5 plays. I cannot understand why they chose those clips. I mean, the traveling one, that was pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, 5 Play Friday is on the agenda this week. I created it. It should be in the feed. For some reason, I don't know what's going on. I got to look into it. But yes, definitely 5 Play Friday on the agenda. Ted, good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. So South Dakota dominating. Chris and Ted making it happen. The Zooch and Jason from Missouri. All right. Willowbrook, 73 degrees in Michigan. I imagine at this time of year that is unusual. We've had rain here in the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. The backyard garden is thirstily soaking it all in. Great to see everybody. And with that, we're going to wrap it up and move on down the road. See everybody Friday. Have a great one.